The Iranians are telling him, I don't know what's wrong with your president. He must have Alzheimer's because we're not taking any calls. Why should they take any calls? They bombed the Hamas negotiators in August of last year. They bombed Soleimani. Do you know Soleimani in 2020 before COVID started? He was fighting against ISIS. He was a good guy. And Trump bombed him. Do Germans know that? Do Germans know that? And who's ISIS? ISIS is America and Israel's CIA. Do Germans know that? So drop. Oh my God. So drop site news. So drop site news. You can go to drop site. I'm sorry. You can go to drop site news, and you can read the fact that Trump is lying. He's making it up as he goes along. This is malignant narcissistic behavior, which is what these people here also have. Malignant narcissist behavior. All of these people who are pro-Israel, okay, who are pro-messianic zealot insanity. Yeah, oh yeah, Hamas, terrorism. All these people have never read a book in their life. They're unintelligent. They're not talented. They have absolutely no morality, no credibility. They're lazy, they're mediocre, and they have low intelligence and low frequency. Keep that in. There is no communication. You can go to Drop Site News and you can listen to Jeremy Scahill, and he is speaking about the fact that his connections, and he is a high journalist, he's saying...
All right, Shalom. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakah Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. The betrayal is complete. How Trump's spiraling descent has shattered Maga and hurt America. All right. The Edomite supremacy system is failing. Okay. Maga's done. All right. Everything is changing. It's breaking down. They can't stop it. All right. They're divided. Okay. These Edomites, they're losing their minds. And I want to make a point before we read this article, because check out your boy, Alex Jones, Skull and Bones. Right.
I'm just going to scorch earth Trump to get him back on track. Only way to do it is to go after him viciously. You've already shed all over me. And if you try to rub it in, I just, at that point, I don't care anymore. So if you think I've been coming after you, if you think that I'm trying to get clicks by attacking you so the Democrats that don't buy anything from me and don't like me want to put me in jail, if you think I've been on your ass, say one more thing. One more thing out of your mouth. And Laura Loomer, send him this, okay? One more thing. When I've gone through hell back in your ass because you were the lesser of two evils, then I'm going to show you how the cow ate the cabbage. Do one more thing. You should be kissing my ass. But instead, you shit all over me and rub it in. I'm not looking for a fight, but if you want one, you came to the right place.
Hey, these Edomites are mad as hell at Trump, man. All right. MAGA is falling apart. This is Mark 3:23, and it reads, it says, and he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand, right? NLT, a kingdom divided by civil war will collapse, right? It's a done deal. Verse 25, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end, right? NLT, last two verses, 25 and 26. Similarly, a family splintered by feuding will fall apart. And if Satan is divided and fights against himself, how can he stand? He would never survive. All right. This is the end of MAGA. This is the end of America. All right. Edomite supremacy systems are failing. All right. This is the shift that's happening. Okay.
So I'm like a rattlesnake. They're not really aggressive snakes. Water moccasins come after you and bite you. Cobras come after you. I'm like rattlesnakes trying to get away. I'm like, hey, leave me alone. Hey, please don't step on me. God, that really hurts. Please stop. Oh, your daddy's over here. Let me step on your mommy. Let me step on your kids. And I'm just like, all right. I'm like Darth Vader looking at Emperor Palpatine, looking like Skywalker. I'm like, all right. I'm going to politically throw you down the reactor shaft in 2 seconds. And just, hey, does Alex Jones bluff? No, I don't. You think I'm intimidated by you, Trump, the president of the United States? Think I'm intimidated by your hit teams, all the rest of it? Whatever, man. You got God to deal with. I want to focus on the midterms, the Democrats. I want to promote what's good you're doing.
Losing, right? He posted that on X. All right, let's go back to the article. Okay, again, the betrayal is complete. How Trump's spiraling descent has shattered MAGA and hurt America. All right, these Edomites are extremely hurt. Okay, as you just saw, Alex Jones, skull and bones, right? This is a desperate, unhinged betrayal of his truest believers. It says the MAGA movement's raw political power, which swept Donald Trump back to the White House in 2024, was never solely about the man himself. All right, it was really about the you-know-who's. It says, I was a part of that coalition, an advocate for peace, national sovereignty, and dismantling a corrupt establishment. But what we are witnessing now is not the leadership we backed. It is the lashing out of a man spiraling into madness, turning his kindergarten-level rage on the very voices who built his movement: Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, Megyn Kelly, all right, who are all set up, okay? This is all theater, man, if you haven't noticed already, all right? Let's jump down and see what else we got. Yeah, pretty much, Trump is losing his mind, all right? A debt of honor unpaid, what Trump owes Alex Jones. All right, as you just saw him bugging out, okay, over Trump, ready to fight him and mad at him and all of that shit. Okay, the real divorce. Trump has abandoned America for a foreign mistress. And who was that? The small hats. Okay, this is why America's falling apart. Because now the agenda is clear. All right, everybody knows what team he plays for. All right, and his true base that really believed in him. All right, now they're pissed, they're mad, they're angry, sad. All right, because they've been duped. It was never about America being first. It was always about their foreign mistress. All right, them damn tiny tops. Okay. The global collapse, how Trump is burning America's empire to the ground. Right. The consequences of this foreign subservience are global and dire. Trump's catastrophic march to war with Iran, a trap laid by Netanyahu, all right, which is prophecy, the least of the flock should draw them out, has not brought victory but humiliation, as we've been talking about all week. Okay, America is literally the laughingstock of the world right now, man. All right, this nigga put a post of him being so-called Jesus and shit, and he caught extreme backlash. The U.S. military, once a feared force, has been exposed as a paper tiger. As one assignment starkly put it, the absence of these outcomes underscores the American empire's loss of credibility. And projecting violence against major powers like Iran, Russia, or China, our allies see this weakness and are acting accordingly. See that? They see as we talk about there's blood in the water, man. Okay, the power's gone. All right. Let's see if there's anything else. The inevitable wipeout and the path forward. Okay, it's a done deal. All right, and we ain't got to read all of that. You get the point. See that? Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom, right? And that's that internal implosion that's happening within right now. Okay, MAGA is shattered, and America is hurt. All right, it's no bouncing back. All right, Trump is losing his mind, the exposure, everything, man. Okay, the recent madness. All right, he had his he posted a picture on his Twitter, on his X, of him being the Messiah, the Savior. All right, which is crazy.
After repeatedly risking costly and unnecessary MAGA rebellions, first with the Epstein Files debacle and then more recently with the war against Iran, Donald Trump has stupidly kicked the proverbial hornet's nest a third time, late last night, by posting an image depicting himself as Jesus Christ. And to those who are religious, and certainly religiously conservative, this is the ultimate blasphemy. And this triggered the biggest high-profile MAGA rebellion I have ever seen in relatively short order, with very prominent names on the right rebuking Trump for his blasphemy, for his antichrist behavior. And it got so bad that Trump panicked and cowed, he deleted the image. And we have to talk about it. But before we do, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, folks, we have confirmation from Caitlin Collins.
Yeah, it's all over the place. This guy's beefing with the Pope, right? He got problems with him. He's getting cursed out by his fan base. All right, America's being mocked all over the world. Their allies are turning their backs. All right, it's literally all downhill, man. Okay, real fast. Let's go back to Isaiah 19, same chapter, Isaiah 19 and 12, right? Okay, Isaiah 19 and 11, and it reads, "Surely the princes of Zoan are fools. The counsel of the wise counselors of Pharaoh has become brutish. How say ye unto Pharaoh, am I the son of the wise, the son of ancient kings?" It says, verse 12, "Where are they? Where are thy wise men? And let them tell thee now, and let them know what the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai of hosts have proposed upon Egypt," right? NLT. Same verses 11 and 12. "What fools are the officials of Zoan? Their best counsel to the king of Egypt is stupid and wrong." Yeah, everybody around Trump, his cabinet, all right, they're nothing but fools, man. The things that's being pushed right now, how they've been dragged into war, all right, the policies that are being pushed, okay? And people are frustrated. They're angry. They're mad at this nigga. Will they boast to Pharaoh of their wisdom? Will they dare brag about all their wise ancestors? Verse 12, "Where are your wise counselors, Pharaoh? Let them tell you what the Most High plans, what the Lord of heaven's armies is going to do to Egypt." Right, so everything that they're doing, okay, is only bringing their destruction even closer, man. Okay, they can't stop the judgment of America, man. There's nothing they can do. They can't restore it. There's no, there's no plan. Okay, as we're talking about, the MAGA is cooked, man. All right, it's collapsing. The power is slipping away. Okay, America's power structure is breaking down, man. This is the shift. All right, it's all done. They've lost control. People are panicking. You know, let's go on.
It appears as if Trump has deleted his post portraying himself as Jesus after facing backlash from his own supporters. Not found. The resource could not be found. But this thing went viral. It was too little.
Bear with me.
Whoa. What's that?
Let's let that pass.
We're going to see it here. Here's Trump. And if you see here in the smaller image, it's Donald Trump depicting himself as Jesus, healing somebody who looks very much like Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump triggered a rare wave of backlash late Sunday from his most loyal supporters after he shared an AI-generated image presenting himself as Jesus Christ that infuriated religious MAGA diehards who accused him of, quote, blasphemy. The image, posted to Truth Social, shows the president appearing in a Christ-like role, healing a sick patient while surrounded by followers. The post quickly spread across social media through the night, drawing fiery rebuke from allies and exploding fresh tensions within the MAGA coalition. Conservative Daily Wire contributor Michael Knowles was among those to vocally break ranks and call out the post, urging the president to delete the picture. "I assume someone has already told him, but it behooves the president, both spiritually and politically, to delete the picture, no matter the intent." Now, as people pointed out, Michael Knowles would be much more incendiary if this were a Democrat, if this were Barack Obama or Joe Biden. But of course, being the unprincipled loser that he is, he has to couch his rebuke. Riley Gaines, who tied for 5th with a trans swimmer, I think at the University of Kentucky, and has since made, conservative identity politics her entire lucrative career, said this: "Why? Seriously, I cannot understand why he'd post this. Is he looking for a response? Does he actually think this? Either way, 2 things are true. Number 1, a little humility would serve him well. Number 2, God shall not be mocked." Outkick writer John Root also took to X. "This is blasphemous. Trump portraying himself as Jesus Christ, descending from the clouds, healing the sick, with people praying to him, is reprehensible."
Yeah, so you can watch the rest of that, but America has been made that mockery, and I want to get this real quick. Okay, this is Ezekiel 5. Okay, and the qualifier, this is really dealing with Israel, but you can apply this to Esau, America, right? This is Ezekiel 5 and 14. It says, "Moreover, I will make thee waste and a reproach among the nations that are round about thee, in the sight of all that pass by." Verse 15. "So it shall be as a reproach and a taunt, an instruction and an astonishment unto the nations that are round about thee, when I shall execute judgments in thee, in anger and in fury and in furious rebukes. I, the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, have spoken it." NLT, same 2 verses, 14 and 15. It says, so I will turn you into ruin, a mockery in the eyes of the surrounding nations, and to all who pass by. All right, this is what's going on now, dealing with Babylon, America. Verse 15, this is NLT. You will become an object of mockery and a taunting and horror. You will be a warning to all the nations around you. They will see what happens when the Lord punishes a nation in anger and rebukes it, says the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So this is the judgment, man. Okay, he can't get away from it. Everything's collapsing around him, right? Let's move on here. Okay, here's some more, and we've been warning you about this as well. This is from the telegraph.co.uk. U.S. on high alert for T attacks as Trump's war hits home. Islamic Republic will try to exact revenge for conflict even if Trump strikes a deal. So no matter what happens, all right, shit's still going to go down. All right, so you got to be even more at high alert, especially as this war continues on. All right, things are getting ready to happen here. They've been talking about the sleeper cells and things going down. So any day, right? Let's see what we can get from this. It says, let's see, do we want anything from here? No, we can take from that. The point is in the headline there, man. Okay? Let's see what else we got before we wrap this thing up. All right. That might be it. Yeah, that's pretty much the point, man. Like I was talking about, he's beefing with the Pope. All right. Esau's just all over the place. Let's play a little bit of this.
Joining me now is Bloomberg White House correspondent Jeff Mason, co-founder of the Lincoln Project and director of the Latino Working Class Project, Mike Madrid. And here on set with me, the author of Pope Leo, Inside the Conclave and the Dawn of a New Papacy, Christopher White, associate director at Georgetown University's Initiative for Catholic Social Thought and Public Life. I don't really even know where to start, but can we put the picture up again? Because you lived in Rome for several years.
Yeah, 4 years.
You've been in hundreds of churches and museums because that's what you do, but you don't have to be in Rome to do that. Is this classic depiction of Christ?
I think anyone that's spent any time in any sort of religious place knows this is a classic image. You don't have to be an art historian to know that. I think it's an insult to the American people to assume otherwise. Millions of Americans are religious, Catholic and non-Catholics alike, and they can tell you exactly what this image looks like.
All right, then there's another fact check. Trump wrote this of Leo, quote, "He was only put there," meaning in the pontiff's seat, "by the church because he was an American, and they thought that would be the best way to deal with President Donald J. Trump." You literally wrote the book on the conclave. You and I were both there when the cardinals were arriving. Was that the topic of conversation?
Well, I think the Cardinals are very clear to say, look, this conclave was not a continuation of the American political election cycle. But I do think the fact that Leo presents himself as a profile of someone who believes in the common good, who is serene and interested in just sort of bringing the world together, offers a pretty stark contrast to the president. And that was pretty attractive to a lot of the Cardinals going into vote. And an American who believes those things and who is committed to multilateralism, sure, that's something they want to see more of, absolutely.
But not someone who would get them in good with Donald Trump.
No, yeah, Pope Leo was not elected to be in the good graces of President Trump, that's for sure.
Jeff, just in the last hour, the president was asked if...
Hey, you can check that out, man. There's one more I want to check out. I saw on the page here. Let's check this out. Yeah, U.S. to begin automatic draft registration in December. All right, this is about 5 hours ago. Let's check this out, and then we'll wrap this up.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. I'm Amy Goodman. The federal government's preparing to begin automatically registering eligible U.S. men ages 18 to 26 for the military draft pool. The U.S. hasn't had a draft since 1973, but it still maintains a registry of eligible men in case the draft is restored. The new rules around automatic military draft registration were tucked into the 2026 National Defense Authorization Act. In early March, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt did not rule out President Trump reinstating the draft itself. She was questioned by Fox News host Maria Bartiromo.
Mothers out there are worried that we're going to have a draft, that they're going to see their sons get in and daughters get involved in this. What do you want to say about the president's plans for troops on the ground? As we know, it's been largely an air campaign up until now.
It has been, and it will continue to be, and President Trump wisely does not remove options off of the table.
We're joined now by Edward Hasbrook, organizer with the Anti-Draft Coalition, which opposes the plan for automatic registrations, calling for repeal of the Military Selective Service Act. Editor and publisher of Resistors.info. He is a member of the War Resisters League and the Military Law Task Force of the National Lawyers Guild. His recent piece for Responsible Statecraft is headlined, "Even if Team Trump wanted a military draft would be a fiasco," unquote. In the 1980s, Hasbrook publicly refused to register for the draft and spent 6 months in prison. Can you talk, Edward, about what has changed? What is this draft registry that the Trump administration is bringing back?
Well, since 1980, men have been supposed to register with the Selective Service system within 30 days of their 18th birthday and tell Selective Service within 10 days every time they move until they reach age 26. Very few people do. The efforts to enforce that against a handful of public non-registrants whose public statements could be used to convict us collapsed in the early 1980s. Nobody has been prosecuted in decades. But in the face of growing pressure to recognize the failure of Selective Service and the unavailability of a draft, instead, to save their jobs, the Selective Service system came up with a plan which they managed to sneak through Congress last year to give Selective Service a second chance to try to register potential draftees automatically. Now, that won't work.
Yeah. So you can watch the rest of that. But, hey, the thing is, you know, these troops, they're not coming back, all right? This is the end for them, all right? 2nd Ezra 16, and we'll close this out. You know, this is it, man. They're being drafted to World War III, the war of all wars. 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 33. And it reads, it says, "The virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms, the women shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers." Verse 34, "In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine." Right? So those soldiers not coming back. All right? And that's just the reality of this thing, man. All right? But again, it's all at the end. It's a done deal. Shalom.